Do you think since the entertainment's gone out of the game a little bit of recent years now?
It depends where you are and the players that are there. I mean, there's always been characters in the game. Sadly, we lost one last year. That was Fred Hume. I mean, Fred. Anybody in the northwest would know Fred.
Yeah.
Every second word was the F word, but he was. Even ladies used to like him being there because it was totally inoffensive.
Yeah.
I mean, if he bet against me on a match, some of the names he'd call me from the side of the green. Well, I don't repeat them to you because there could be ladies listening.
I mean, he was a real character.
Yeah. But there's still characters. Still characters about. There always has been. I mean, Andy Cairns is a real character on the green, I think. Michael Leach, of course.
Yeah.
Some people, you look at it in all walks of life and in all sports. Actually, there's extroverts and there's introverts.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I thought, as you say, I mean, Freddie Hume was one of the greatest characters. It just won't seem the same at the Waterloo on the terraces now without Fred, will it? No.
Well, no, but there's still one or two characters about. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Fred, although he was, he gave a lot of stick out. He also could take it, couldn't he?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I remember at the Waterloo a few years ago. He went to get a cup of tea from the tea bar, and he walked across the corner of the green with it. I remember some wag from on the terraces shouting across to Fred, "That's the only cup you'll ever get to hold on the Waterloo," and he nearly spit his tea all over the place.
Well, I can tell you a very funny story. I mean, Fred was, as you say, a real character, with probably a slightly short fuse, but in the nicest possible way. And I saw him playing a game at Green Hall Wickley's in Warrington, a big tournament that they used to run there. It's some years ago now. And he was playing a fella from the Lloyds in Charlton called Pt.7. And Fred was winning 2013. And Peter turned the game round and beat him 21-20. And everyone was waiting for Fred to explode. But he shook hands with Peter and said, "Well played, best of luck in the next round." And then Fred went and sat on a form round the green and was quiet, and everyone thought, "Well, strange, he must have changed." And it must have been some 20 minutes later, he suddenly stood up and all the profanities you could possibly think came forth. Stuffy is about the best one I dare say on the radio. But he just sat there, he kept control of himself for 20 minutes, and then he couldn't contain himself any longer, and everyone breathed a sigh of relief actually that Fred was okay.
Yeah, I don't know, the first time I came across him, I played him in a doubles competition at Winsford Liberal Club, and I played with my partner then, John Turner, and we beat Fred. I think he played with Colin Price at the time. We beat them about 21-6. He walked off the green muttering and mumbling, and failed to shake our hands because I think basically he forgot. And then he turned round and said, "You're the worst two bowlers I've ever lost against," and walked off, which he was probably right, to be fair. I'm getting a question up on the screen. It's come up 2 or 3 times. He said, "How's Noel enjoying playing for the Wagon and Horses?" What's that about, Noel?
Well, funnily enough, I spent a little bit of time in Spain when I retired at the end of September, and then came back for Christmas. And there's one of the fellas at the Wagon and Horses, Keith Lackford, contacted me to see if I fancied playing some short mat balls for them at a little place in near Winslow. So I said, "Yeah, I'll help you out." And we got talking, and he said he played for the Wagon and Horses, who've just got into the Premier League in the Stockport League this year, and they were looking for 1 or 2 new players to try and make sure they stayed up. And Robert Crawshaw was playing as well in this short mat team, and he said to me, he said, "Well, if you'll play, I'll play." So that's it, we're playing for the Wagon and Horses now. I mean, it's quite
good. Okay. Now, I chatted in the last programme to Brian Duncan, and I asked him who he sort of rated as the best player he'd ever seen, and any youngsters who, as a youngster, he looked up to. You know, who do you rate as your greatest ever player?
Well, I mean, obviously, Brian is probably the best player that's ever played the game. But in my sort of younger days, I mean, I'm probably about 6 months younger than Brian, so we were sort of starting off at the same time, basically. But the big name then was Bill Dauber from Vitington near Wigan. I played him, I think, about 7 times when I was in my early 20s, and I think I beat him twice actually. One was in the final of the Lancashire Merit, and the other was in a 41 up competition that they used to hold at Lostock Alkali in Northwich. And on that night, it was quite a balmy evening in August, and they reckon there was 1,000 people around the green that day, or that evening. Tremendous crowd and atmosphere, and managed to lick Bill. But I once played him in the Warrington Charities tournament, 41 up. I don't think I had a ball less than 2 feet off in the whole of the game, and I lost 41-23.
No.
And what I remember about that was we shook hands at the beginning of the game, and he never spoke another word to me throughout the game. Simply, not because he was a nasty sort of person, just absolute total concentration. I've never seen anything like it. And after the game, went in the bar, and he just had an orange juice. He didn't drink alcohol, and I think I had a pint of it. And his son used to drive him about, and he said, "Come on, we've just got time to go to the Conservative Club for an hour before it goes dark," because he was playing there the following night. And I'd actually played him on the Friday night, and somebody told me he'd been up practising every afternoon that week. He'd got the bus or train to Warrington, had a couple of hours practice, and then went back again. Then played me on the Friday evening. Then after that, went for practice somewhere else. So, that is dedication.
It is, yeah. And I think a lot were like that, weren't they, Noel, then?
Well, a tremendous player. I had the utmost admiration for him, and the concentration side of things is what I tried to emulate. And the other thing as well, I was very fortunate some years ago when I wanted some balls that ran a little bit better than what I was using. And I went to see Billy Walsh, the gentleman who used to organise everything at Clare's in Liverpool. And he said, "I'll make you a set of balls that'll suit you and they'll keep you going for ages." And I've managed to purchase some old Lignum Vita flat green balls. And I took him 2 of these, and he made me this set of balls, and he made them to a template very, very similar to what Bill Dauber used to use. Those balls have long since something went wrong with them when I sent them to be polished somewhere, and I got another set made to that same template, and I'm still using those, and I've been using them for 25 years now.
Yeah.
So that's all come from the Bill Dauber days.
Yeah. It's strange. I mean, Brian also said Billy Dauber was the best player he'd ever seen as well.